Here's how dangerous this Xbox gamble truly is. What's up, y'all? I'm Ray, and this is my channel, Xbox Ready, where we get on and we talk about Xbox stuff. The latest news, rumors, games, accessories, pretty much anything I want to talk about as long as it's about Xbox in some way. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about shocking revelations regarding Xbox's latest gamble, what you can expect from your Game Pass subscription for the rest of December, and the yearly Xbox event that you don't want to miss. But first, a word from our sponsors. This video is brought to you by Manscaped. The holidays are sneaking up on us, so they're right around the corner, and if you're struggling to find a gift for the gamer in your life, consider elevating their grooming experience with the Chairman Pro package. The Chairman Pro is an electric foil shaver, which could be the last foil shaver you ever buy for yourself. It's just that versatile. It's got two different guards that you can easily interchange depending on what kind of shave you're going for, the 4-blade foil, and the stubble trimmer. This alone has replaced so many different shaving tools that I used to use and just condensed them into one. If I got a little bit more length in my facial hair, boom. Stubble trimmer will take that right off, trim it down, and then I switch to the 4-foil blade, and I have that clean look. And just like the other Manscaped shavers, it's waterproof, it's got an LED light, this little screen will tell you when the battery's low. It's the culmination of a lot of really cool features that we've seen from other Manscaped stuff. This package will also include Manscaped's Power Shave Gel to make sure that your shave is smooth and comfortable. And when you're done, you can finish off with the Face Shave Smoother to make sure that you don't have any ingrown hairs or irritated skin. If you want to grab the Chairman Pro for yourself or a loved one, when you go to Manscaped's website and use my code XboxReady, you can get 20% off of your order plus free international shipping. Thanks again to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. So today, there was a very interesting article written up on The Verge by Tom Warren titled "Microsoft and Google are fighting over the future of Xbox. A legal battle could sway Microsoft's mobile plans." First of all, that's a great title because it's like, okay, well, we often hear about, Xbox versus PlayStation, the console wars, never Google versus Xbox. And it's actually a very detailed, informative, succinct explanation on what Xbox is currently trying to accomplish in the mobile gaming space, what they can and cannot do with their apps on iOS and Android devices, and how it's going to affect them going into the future. Now, before you click off this video, say, "Ray, I don't give a damn about mobile gaming. I don't give a damn about games on phones." Well, if you're an Xbox fan, you probably should listen for just a little bit, because whatever happens with this battle between Xbox, Google, Apple, it's going to have huge ramifications for Xbox going into the future, and therefore you as an Xbox fan. Now, if you've been following this channel, if you've seen anything about Xbox at all on social media, you know they're in the midst of not really a rebrand, but they're pivoting in this new direction where they're saying that it's not just Xbox consoles that are Xboxes. No, phones can be an Xbox, iPads can be an Xbox, the ROG Ally, PC, and a huge part of that relies on streaming and mobile gaming. We know going forward that Xbox is going to make new consoles. They're going to have hardware. But a big part of their strategy moving forward is aggressive growth on both PC and mobile. Only problem is, on mobile, if you are not Apple or Google, you're gonna have a bad time. Because with the Google Play Store and the App Store on iOS, they are basically the gatekeepers of all things gaming on both of those platforms. That's why at one point we had like 4 different apps for Xbox on iPhone. The Xbox app, the Xbox Game Pass app, and then like a shortcut to Xbox Cloud Gaming that was disguised as an app. Xbox wants to put games on phones. They want to reach the millions of people out there who already have a phone, turn them into Xbox customers without making them buy an Xbox console. They were supposed to have a mobile gaming storefront at some time in July. That never happened. And in November, it was going to be this whole thing of, we can finally have an app where you can buy games and stream them directly to your phone, games that you own. But then Google was like, no. We got a temporary staying order, making sure that Microsoft, Xbox, they can't do that. So that hasn't happened either, which is crazy. I almost bought an Android phone specifically for that function. I'm glad I didn't now. The explanation for why Xbox can't have an all-in-one app, Tom Warren summarizes it really, really well. Basically, any platform holder that has an app on iOS or Android, whether it's PlayStation, Steam, Xbox, all of them have an app where you're able to buy a game, just like on your Xbox console, and then they have a separate app if you want to use a remote play or cloud gaming. If you were to combine them into one, Google or Apple would swoop in and be like, yo, you got to pay up 30% on the purchase of the game and any purchases made within the game. And so Xbox came out and they're like, no, we cannot do that. That's too much money. We're gonna wait until we win some sort of legal battle or Google gives us some slack. Google comes out and they're like, I don't see what the problem is. Microsoft has the tech in order to enable streaming in their app. They just gotta pay us a little bit. And I always wondered, well, why wouldn't Xbox, Microsoft, why wouldn't they just pony up, play ball a little bit? Because it's just like when they sell a game on PlayStation or on Steam, they have to give them a cut as well. They don't make as much money. But apparently it's not just about the money. It's not just about the 30% cut that they would have to cough up to Google. No, it's about the infrastructure and the actual coding of the game. They would have to go in and make sure that every game supports the Google Pay system. And for some games, they can do that, like games they develop, but for a lot of the third-party games, they cannot. And here's why it is a huge problem for not only Xbox, but for its fans, because Microsoft, Xbox, they have bet huge on mobile gaming. I'm talking like billions and billions of dollars. We know that one of the biggest reasons why Microsoft wanted to buy Activision Blizzard was because of the Activision Blizzard King part. Not only would Call of Duty make them a bunch of money, no, but also Candy Crush. But now they're in the situation where they spent $69 billion plus on trying to break into the mobile gaming market, and so far they have nothing to show for it. Half of their strategy to expand on PC and on mobile, it's just in the hands of these other tech companies or lawmakers around the world. And that is not the position that you want to be in. Xbox is constantly pitching, okay, yeah, maybe we're not selling as many consoles, but we're growing the Xbox user base. They won't report sale numbers for games, but they'll report, oh, this is how many people played it. This is how many people engaged with it on Game Pass. And if they're going to continue to show growth in their gaming division, at least the growth that warrants continued investment, whether or not they can make a successful play at mobile gaming is going to be a huge part in that. If this gamble backfires and they can't say, no, there's infinite growth on PC and mobile, so many more people we can reach, how much longer is Microsoft going to fund them? I guess they kind of have to now because they got to get a return on that Activision Blizzard investment. And apparently a huge chunk of this whole thing, especially that this is an Xbox campaign, can be traced directly back to Sarah Bond. Tom Warren writes in this article that since the head of Xbox marketing departed back in June, the Xbox marketing team now reports directly to Sarah Bond. And although Sarah Bond still very much believes in this vision of, oh, every screen is an Xbox, sources tell Tom Warren that Sarah Bond has staked her entire reputation on the idea of Xbox being everywhere across multiple platforms and devices. I hope it works out for her because the few times I've interacted with her, she's really cool, she's super nice. I don't think any of us want to see another Don Matrick Xbox One situation. So it's not only the future of Xbox that's hanging in the balance, that's in Google's hands, it's also Sarah Bond's reputation. I don't think a lot of this is a great idea, especially when it comes to all this. This is an Xbox stuff, every screen is an Xbox stuff. My problem with this whole thing is how much they're focusing on that aspect. We get it. Xbox wants to reach as many players as possible. They've realized that they can't do it by one-to-one console sales. And I believe that approach is cool in a lot of ways. I love Xbox Play Anywhere. I love the flexibility of the cross-save. I can play on my Xbox. I can play on my ROG Ally. I can play on my PC. I can play on my phone through cloud gaming. But you can also make the argument that it's diluting their product. I talked a lot about this in my last video, how Xbox should be hyper-aware about every first-party game that they ship. They got to make sure that it's not buggy, it performs well, and has everything that it should have when it launches. And I'm wondering if Xbox should reevaluate here. Should they take a step back, stop worrying about shotgunning their games all over to different devices, and just focus on making a good product, which at this point are the games. Keep in mind, they're beyond consoles at this point, so that's what Xbox is. Xbox games can turn a phone or an iPad into an Xbox by their logic. But part of me wishes they were more selective, more exclusive, rather than just throwing their games out willy-nilly. When you play a game on your phone, on your iPad, especially through Xbox Cloud Gaming, you gotta deal with a lot of crap that you wouldn't otherwise run into if you're playing on PC or console. The graphics are gonna be worse, frame rate's gonna be worse, controls are gonna be worse. Sometimes you'll have to deal with artifacting or maybe disconnections or long load times in order to stream the game at all. And given Xbox's recent struggles, like, I don't know, with Stalker 2 launching with a bunch of bugs, do they want to continue being associated with that kind of stuff? If we're looking at Xbox as an umbrella or as a graph, the priority should be Xbox consoles at the top, Then you go down the tree and it's supporting Xbox games on PC or handheld devices. Then after that would be cloud gaming, and then after that would be mobile. Playing games on your phone, the Xbox mobile gaming aspirations, that should be treated as a bonus, not as the main event. But at the same time, I am just a dude with a YouTube channel and a camera, so cat's already out of the bag. They're going full steam ahead on this. But a big part of me wishes that they would take all of that money, all of that energy, and just reinvest it into their studios and into the games. Speaking of games, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what you can expect for your Game Pass subscription in the month of December. Obviously, the highlight of this month is Indiana Jones. Now remember, ever since they shook up the Game Pass tiers, some of you might have already been playing it already with the pre-order and the early access period. But if you want to play Indiana Jones or any first-party Xbox games day one, you now have to be subscribed to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. You can't be subscribed to the middle tier, standard tier anymore, unless you're grandfathered in from the old era, the old guard, and you still have console Game Pass. This seems like the perfect Game Pass game because I see some reviewers saying that it's awesome, and I see other reviewers saying that it sucks. So on the off chance you're going to be one of those people that plays this game and you think that it sucks, you might as well do it through your Game Pass subscription because, well, you won't lose anything that way. I do see a lot more reviews saying that it's good, saying that if you love Indiana Jones, you're going to love this. I haven't gotten to play it yet, but when I come back from out of town this Sunday, next week, I'm going to be playing it, and I'll talk about it on the channel if you want to stay tuned for that. Crash Team Racing is also on every tier of Game Pass, including Core. A lot of people are excited about this game. I've never played it, but it's cool to have a kart racing option on Game Pass. With this latest Game Pass lineup, we're starting to see a lot more games trickle down into the standard tier of Game Pass. I always thought it was kind of weird that Forza Motorsport was not already on the standard tier of Game Pass. That kind of sets the standard of, oh, if a first-party Xbox game comes out, it's not going to make its way over to the standard tier until at least a year later. Because of what? Forza Motorsport came out last October, it's December now. I also wanted to mention quickly, this is not a game that's coming to Game Pass, rather it's leaving, but you should pick it up or play it before it leaves on December 31st, Party Animals. If you like games like Human Fall Flat or Gang Beasts, this is a super fun time. It's a great game to just blow off some steam and laugh with your friends. And I think they're handling their departure from Game Pass really, really well. They're giving us a pretty decent heads up, and they're also offering an even steeper discount for Game Pass subscribers who want to pick up the game before it leaves the library. A lot of great memories with this game. Speaking of memories, if you haven't checked it out already, Xbox is doing their end of year review if you want to check out just how much of a savage you are, how much time you spent playing video games. I love these things, but sometimes I feel like it's a little bit off. I'm like, I feel like I played this game more than that game. But for me, apparently I spent 437 hours playing Xbox in 2024. I played 51 games. I'm like, that's crazy, 51 games. Back in the day, I played like maybe 3 to 8 games a year if I was lucky. And now I'm looking at this, I'm like, dang, I played 51 different games this year. That's awesome. Of course, Game Pass helped with that a lot. And I'm sure if I was to add up the total of like how much it would cost to buy each of these 51 games separately, it would far outweigh what I paid for Game Pass Ultimate in 2024. I spent most of my time on console, not a surprise there. 388 hours as opposed to 43 hours on the Xbox PC app. That's of course not including the games I played on Steam. And my number one played game this year was Elden Ring. Of course, no surprise there. I did a replay of the main story with a strength build, then went right into Shadow of the Erdtree. Good times, man, good times. In second place, I've been playing a lot of Metaphor, so that makes sense. And I was surprised by third place, Fallout 3. 2024 was the first time that I played Fallout 3. That's probably a blasphemous thing to say because I run an Xbox YouTube channel, but I was so amazed at how well this game holds up. It was one of those games where I would sit down, play for like a couple of hours, but it felt like minutes. I don't know if they did this last year, but I like how Xbox was like, that's your year in review, here's our year in review as a company. Here's what Xbox did in 2024. I thought that was really cool. And they started off really well with like, hey, here's a look at what's coming in 2025, South of Midnight, Avowed, Doom the Dark Ages. Hey, remember the double cheeked up Deadpool controller? We do. And of course they had to end it with, oh, we're trying to save the Earth one console at a time. Of course, they're not going to put any of the low points of this year for Xbox, but even though there's been ups and downs, and I do have concerns about what Xbox is going to do in the future, what they're going to be focused on, I'm mostly excited to just get my hands on these games that they're pumping out, especially Avowed. Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I have to talk about today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. Help me on my journey to 200,000 subs. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.